Hey there, machining enthusiasts. If you're just starting out in the world of machining, you might be scratching your head wondering what an end mill is. Well, an end mill is a super important cutting tool used in milling applications. Picture this. It's a rotating tool that swoops in and removes material from a workpiece. These nifty tools are typically crafted from high-speed steel shore carbide, and they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. You can find them in solid and indexable milling styles. The name end mill comes from its cutting end or tip. It's shaped like a cylinder or a ball at the end of a long shank. End mills have different end types for cutting, flutes, and point angles. They're commonly used in milling machines. These machines use rotary cutters to take material off a workpiece. The milling machine moves the workpiece against the spinning end mill, which digs into the material and chips it away to create the shape you want. End mills are incredibly versatile. They can cut through a wide range of materials like metal, plastic, wood, and composites. You'll find them being used in various industries, including manufacturing, aerospace, and automotive. Understanding the different types of end mills. Learning about the different types of end mills is a key part of mastering the art of milling. End mills come in a vast array of shapes and sizes, each tailored for a specific milling operation. Let's take a closer look at some of the most common types and what they're used for. Square end mills. These end mills have a square tip. They're like the all-rounders of the end mill world, perfect for general milling applications. If you need to create square-bottomed slots and pockets or cut flat surfaces, square end mills are your go-to. Ball end mills. With a rounded tip, ball end mills are designed for milling curved surfaces. They're great for adding rounded edges and creating 3D shapes. Corner radius end mills. These end mills have a rounded corner on the tip. They're ideal for milling rounded corners, creating fillets, and making parts with rounded edges. Chamfer end mills. Chamfer end mills have a flat tip with angled sides. They're used to create chamfers or beveled edges on parts, giving them a finished look. Roughing end mills. Roughing end mills have a serrated or scalloped edge. Their job is to quickly remove large amounts of material. They're perfect for roughing out parts and giving them a rough finish. Tapered end mills. Tapered end mills have a tapered tip. They're used to create tapered holes or channels, great for making parts with a conical shape. Drill mills. Drill mills are unique as they can drill holes and mill flat surfaces at the same time. They're excellent for creating holes with flat bottoms and making counterbores. It's crucial to pick the right end mill for your project to get the results you want. Understanding the different types and their intended uses will help you make the right choice. Also, when selecting an end mill, you need to think about factors like the material you're milling, the depth of cut, and the feed rate. How to choose the right end mill for your project. Picking the right end mill for your project is no small feat. It's crucial for achieving the desired outcome. Here are some factors you should consider when making your selection. Material. The material you're milling is a game changer. Harder materials such as metals and alloys demand a harder and more durable end mill, like carbide. On the other hand, softer materials like plastics and wood can be handled by a softer end mill, such as high-speed steel. Cutting diameter. The cutting diameter of the end mill is the size of the cutting surface. Choosing the right diameter is vital for efficient cutting and a smooth finish. Smaller diameters are great for detailed work, while larger diameters are better for quickly roughing out material. Flute count. The number of flutes on an end mill has a big impact on its cutting performance. End mills with fewer flutes are more rigid and can remove material faster. Meanwhile, end mills with more flutes give a better finish. Coatings. End mills can be coated with different materials like titanium nitride or diamond-like carbon. These coatings increase their durability and lifespan. Think about the material you're milling and the finish you want when choosing a coating. Cutting speed and feed rate. The cutting speed and feed rate tell you how fast the end mill moves through the material and how much material is removed per pass. Picking the right cutting speed and feed rate is essential for efficient cutting and to prevent damage to the end mill and the material. So, when you're selecting an end mill, really take the time to consider factors like material, cutting diameter, flute count, coatings, and cutting speed and feed rate. By making the right choice, you can ensure efficient cutting and a high-quality finish. Using end mills, tips and techniques for beginners. Using end mills can seem daunting for beginners, but with the right tips and techniques, it can be a really rewarding experience. Here's how you can use end mills effectively. Secure the workpiece. Before you start using an end mill, make sure the workpiece is secure. You don't want it moving around during milling. Use clamps, a vise, or other holding devices to keep it stable. Choose the right speed and feed rate. The speed and feed rate at which the end mill moves through the material affect the quality of the cut. Use the recommended speed and feed rate for the material you're milling to get efficient cutting and a smooth finish. Use the right cutting depth. The cutting depth is the amount of material removed per pass. It's important to use the right cutting depth to prevent the end mill from overheating and breaking. A good rule is to remove no more than half the diameter of the end mill per pass. Clear chips often. Chips can pile up on the cutting edge of the end mill, which can mess up its performance. Use compressed air or a chip brush to clear the chips often. This ensures efficient cutting and prevents damage to the end mill and the workpiece. Lubricate the end mill. Lubricating the end mill helps reduce friction and stops it from overheating. This extends the life of the tool. Use a cutting fluid or oil to lubricate the end mill. Test the cut. Before you start milling the whole workpiece, test the cut on a small section. This helps you make sure the end mill is working correctly and allows you to adjust the speed, feed rate, and cutting depth if needed. So, beginners, by following these tips and techniques, securing the workpiece, choosing the right speed and feed rate, using the right cutting depth, clearing chips often, lubricating the end mill, and testing the cut, you can use end mills effectively and get high-quality results. In conclusion, end mills are amazing tools that open up a world of possibilities in machining. By understanding what they are, the different types, how to choose the right one, and how to use them properly, you're well on your way to becoming a pro in the machining field. So go ahead, grab an end mill, and start creating.